welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to be doing something that you guys have requested me to do recently. How I edit and how I take my Instagram pictures. Yeah, I don't think that I have the best feed. I actually get a lot of compliments on it from different people that they like my feed and they want to know how I get it, how I edit my pictures, and just how I take them in general. I am not the best photographer. I haven't even had this camera for a year, so I'm still learning and I have a lot of work to do. But these are just going to be some beginner tips and just things that I have found that have worked for me. I don't think I've ever done a video like this before, but I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, don't forget to give a big thumbs up and also be sure to subscribe to my channel down below if you guys like it. That would mean so much to me. Without further ado, let's just get straight on into the video. Okay, so this is my Instagram feed right now. It's kind of like a bluish tint. But yeah, this is kind of my feed that I've been doing for a while. I don't really post that much on Instagram. I always go back to just the blue tint on Instagram. I just really like the way that looks. My first tip for you guys, if you're wondering on how to basically get a feed, is to kind of see what you like. One way that I have found this to be really helpful is actually on Pinterest. I freaking love Pinterest and I've been loving it more recently. I actually have a pin section of photography, and this is where I look to get my inspiration. I think that having a pin board for photography or Instagram or anything like that is super important. And also another thing on Pinterest you can do for a feed is to look up VSCO. Me and my friends actually have a pin board labeled VSCO, and this just gives us a lot of inspiration for different filters that we can use or just themes in general. There are so many different things you can do on VSCO Cam. But yeah, those are kind of my tips, I guess, for finding inspiration for Instagram. I think that's the first thing you should do is just look on Pinterest and just get an inspiration of things that you like or things that you want to do. Another tip of mine is to find a good location spot. Currently, my favorite and one that I always end up going back to is just right outside of my house. There's this line of trees. I love taking pictures there, especially when the sun is setting. My friend Ashley took this picture of me and it's one of my favorite ones. I know that everyone thinks oh, I have to live in LA or I have to live somewhere where it has beautiful scenery to get a good Instagram, but that is not true. My biggest recommendation is to just look around in your neighborhood, look outside. You don't have to have a trendy wall to have a good Instagram feed. You can literally just go outside in the trees or wherever you live to get good pictures. The biggest thing that I would recommend is lighting. Lighting is super duper important when it comes to pictures. A lot of times I will use natural light where it's just my window, or if it's outside. Try to have the same sort of lighting scheme in every one of your pictures. I think this just looks a lot better. Another big tip is a selfie light. This is actually my sister's, but this works really, really good. I know there are actually phone cases that have this built into it, but basically you just clip it on to here and then as you can see, it just makes a little bit of difference, lights up your face. So if you guys are looking to take selfies, I would recommend this little thing. And also, you guys do not have to have a professional camera to have a good Instagram feed. I use both my camera and just my iPhone for a lot of my pictures too. You'll be surprised at how many pictures you think are taken with a professional camera and they're just taken with an iPhone. Another thing is to just not think too much about your Instagram feed. Honestly, some people make it a much bigger deal than it actually is, and it kind of turns into an unhealthy obsession. Just find a fine line between having it be a hobby and having it be something that takes over your life. Just make sure that you're doing it because you like doing it and because you like the way how it looks, not because you're trying to impress other people or trying to just have a good theme just because that's what's trendy or whatever. Another thing that I found really helpful was actually this book. It says, "Read this if you want to be Instagram famous." This book had a ton of photography tips. It really, really helped me. Basically, the whole point of this book is to just find your style. I think that is the biggest thing on Instagram and YouTube and just any sort of social media platform is to be different and to find your style, because there are so many people copying so many other people now. Personally, that is not a goal of mine to be Instagram famous, but if that is, then just find your own style and be unique. More into the feed formula, I guess. There are so many different things for this. All I try to do is to not make it all me. A lot of people who have a ton of selfies and it's just all selfies on their Instagram, it just doesn't look very good. Again, if you guys like that, then you do you. But personally, my preference is I don't want just a whole Instagram filled with selfies. I try to take just a picture of me and then a picture of something else, like the beach or something that I like or a book that I like or anything like that. A good balance of different things on your feed, so that way it's not all just one same thing. And this is just my personal preference. Now we're going to get into how I actually edit my Instagram pictures. I'm just going to take this picture that I posted a while ago that I personally love. It's like one of my favorite pictures, and I took it in the trees like right next to my house, which I think is really cool. I actually downloaded the filter HB1 and HB2. I think these were free and a lot of people use them, so I'm gonna go in with HB1. And my biggest tip for you guys is to actually lower the filter, because as you can see right now, it looks really blue. I lower it to about like a 5. I'll just go into exposure and I'll kind of lower that depending on the picture, but I just kind of like how it looks a little bit darker. I try to keep my pictures more of like a dark tone, and then we'll go into contrast and I will lower it a little bit, and then I will always go into sharpen and put that all the way up. I just feel like this just helps your pictures a lot. It just does a little bit, but I really like how it looks. I will go into saturation and I'll just turn it down a little bit. To be honest, I kind of like this more like bluer, like grayish tones. And then I will go into temperature, and this is to get me like the really blue tone. So I will just turn that down, and you can turn it down really far or you can turn it down just a little bit. So I normally do it at like a 0.5. I don't want it to be like really like in your face blue, but I want it to be a little bit blue. I will just go into fade, and I'll do that about like a 2 or a 3 depending on the picture. That is pretty much it, and I love how you can see like the before and after if you just like hold down on the picture. That is basically how I edit my Instagram pictures. Again, it's very different for the type of picture. Sometimes I'll change it a little bit depending on whether the picture is really bright or it's really dark or whatever, but that is kind of what I do to get like a blue tinted feel to them. So yeah, that was all of my tips for you guys on how to basically get an Instagram feed, how I edit my pictures, how I take them, all that sort of stuff. You just have fun with it and be yourself, because that is what's going to make you stand out. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and also be sure to subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. That would mean so much to me. I'll see you guys on Sunday with a new video, so bye!